And I can see clear the path that's laid out before I finally have a clue where I'm going. And I can feel you near, we might finally be rejoined. Trust that I'm coming for you. Yeah, I'm coming for you. Understand that I am fighting. I would do it all despite that it is me against the world, and I am coming. I'm coming.
Eldora waves her hands in these strange arcane patterns. As suddenly, you feel the ground shaking. You're still in her tent at this point. The ground under your feet suddenly becomes unstable, and with a loud creaking, something underneath you seems to come to life. You are being slammed from the left wall to the right wall. Noelle and Eldora seem to be quite unperturbed, knowing already what's going to happen. You see that the trees supporting the tent-like structure are moving in unison as their roots dislodge themselves.
Eldora looks at you as you're a little bit uneasy.
Ruddy's just rolling on the floor.
Poor players. And Eldora looks at you and says, "Be very aware that it is custom and tradition that guides me to help you here, not more. I'm bound to help family, even estranged ones." And she gives a faint look to Eli. "This resurrection y'all speak of, it doesn't ever happen. Though should say almost never. Your chances are slim to none. Unless you can get any sort of divine intervention of sorts. And even then, for a spirit to remain in the aether is a harrowing process."
You see that the tent, carried by these large yellow cedar trees, is walking on a path on the back of the village. But it seems like a path not traveled very often, as these large roots move the structure.
Can you tell me a little bit more about her? This person that you're seeking.
What is it to say about Maru? She's wonderfully intelligent.
Stubborn.
Strict.
Caring.
She does care.
Very clever.
And reckless, but brave.
A little bit nagging.
She's sweet.
She was a mother to us all.
She was a sister.
She
A
took
best
care
friend.
of us.
So a mother that's left you early.
A mother that was taken from us.
So you'd say she has a lot of regret still in her?
I bet she wouldn't be able to leave Ruddy by themselves.
Yeah, well, you see what happens.
That might be a positive thing. If a spirit that has left us still has a lot of regret in their past life, it might anchor them temporarily to this place, a little longer at least. Now, you have to understand, you might have heard a lot about resurrection, but the grim reality is that it doesn't come cheap. And she looks at you honestly empathic at this moment. Her hard demeanor has shrunken a bit. It takes great magic to even connect to that other realm, let alone pull some through it. And I'm assuming your friend hasn't drifted into the beyond just yet.
You hear splashes as the roots of the trees sink deep into what seems to be a river, as the tent is now crossing the river Volga. Walking along the river path, very easily carrying the tent-like structure.
Now, I don't know a lot, so I'm afraid you'll have to tell me what you want to know.
What is this price you speak of?
Well, if she's reached that next realm already, that beyond, I mean, that's an unknown world to us all, to me, to everyone here. When you die, your essence and your human emotions are scattered, but your soul, that carries further down that stream, that slipstream. Now, if she's in the beyond, and you're trying to pull her through, say, if you don't have a body, and I don't think you do, because I don't see any of it with you.
We're preserving it.
It's at home.
Say
She is at home.
That might help. But you still don't have a physical body there with you right now. There has to be some way to anchor her to this place temporarily, and that might take a price.
The tent slowly, as you all lose your footing once again, it lowers. And
Sorry, my bad. I'll be a little more gentle. I'll promise.
You feel almost weightless for a bit as the canvas house goes down.
You might.
Don't barf again.
it's better than flying, don't worry.
At least flying, you're the one in control, ish.
Your friend over there. She looks at Aaravos. I haven't ever seen one of the likes of you, but from what I've heard, y'all are mighty powerful.
You know where Aaravos comes from?
Of course, child. All the elders here do. You southern folk might not be as in touch with the realms and elements around, but we live it every day. Now, I've never been to where you're from, of course. I can't pass off to another plane. The fact that you're here might be a good omen. We're here, by the way.
The front flap opens as you see these jagged crystal rocks and a long, sort of overgrown with tangled roots pathway leading towards a gigantic structure.
This is the only place that I can think of that might help you.
The temple referenced in the book?
Yes.
What's the name of this place?
It's the Revenary, child. It's strange holy grounds of ours from the times when the Glades folk weren't so devastatingly divided. Every region in Montclair has such a region, one such temple, a place where Halcom grows and flourishes like nowhere else. A vein so strong it lasts eternally, they say. It's the heart of our culture.
And where the lines are just that little bit closer together.
Exactly. Do not be disturbed, child, because I will say, the only thing left sacred in there is hunger. And its only priestesses chitter and crawl through the ground. Best be on your tippy toes. You
As she
understand?
says that, you see these beetles almost, remember the ones that you fought? These are the size of your hand, or maybe smaller. Very tiny versions, and they don't really seem to have horns yet, more like pink little knobs on their faces as they scurry over the ground to make their way towards the temple.
Wait. So is this temple like full of these beetles?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, Vanity, we already fought like the big ones off, so it's not a problem.
Oh, they have big ones inside too. Who knows, maybe bigger?
Well, it's a challenge.
It's beetles. That's what we call them. Beetles.
Beetles?
You are
Beetles?
beetles. No, not that you're a beetle. It's you are beetles. Is what I'm
You're
saying.
a beetle.
Beetles.
Your
Yeah.
beetle.
No, it's beetles. There's a half. Never mind.
Beetles.
Wasn't there a
whose
band
beetle?
called Beatles?
Beetle.
Your beetle?
No, those are from.
Your
No,
beetle.
stop! Listen.
Okay.
What I'm trying to tell you is they suckle on orichalcum and they grow indefinitely if left unchecked. Now the hemlock, like your friend here, and she points back to Noelle, hunt these beetles on a daily basis. Noelle's somewhere here.
Yeah. I'm way over yonder in the corner. Hey, yo.
Wow.
But this place is beyond saving. Those beetles have taken over refuge in our sacred grounds, and we are not able to get them back. So, it's as good as yours a place as it is mine now. Though we'll say, the right of hospitality only goes so far, and we ask, please, of you, if you go in there, there's something that eludes my vision. I dream of it, have nightmares of it. Please, if you're able to, slay it. Maybe then the hemlock can reclaim our territory.
What is this creature that you speak of?
Again, I'm not sure. It eludes my visions, my scrying, but it's something in there. Perhaps a patriarch of sorts, or a
This
a
sounds
restless
oddly
spirit.
dangerous. You just asked us to slay it. You were reluctant to even help us.
I still am.
An eye for an eye, Vanity.
Well, this seems more like an arm for a body, or no.
Well, essentially it is. She's kind enough to help us potentially rescue Maru, then we should be kind enough to potentially lay our lives down to rescue this place.
Of course we will.
Yeah, we will wrestle a beetle. Not a problem.
Or patriarch.
She smiles kindly
Or that.
at you and she
Patriarch.
says, "Thank you.
Thank you.
You need to reach the inner sanctum of that temple, of the Revenary, all the way at its center. Now, there might be an orichalcum crystal large enough to attempt that crazy old plan of yours there. You need to pull somebody through, a spirit through, human size at least, or I assume. Perhaps there might be a crystal that large at the center. And when you're done, don't come back to the village. Do what you need to do, and you'll go straight back to Doran now. You understand?"
How will we pull the spirit into the body if we don't have a body?
As I said, eye for an eye. Price has to be paid some way or another.
But we can just bring her back then.
Well, you can try it. You have that book of yours.
Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's go.
But do we know the spell, the incantation that we'll need to use once we reach the center of this
Yes.
this temple? What are we
Do we-
supposed to do then?
Once you get to the center, and the orichalcum will guide you, this place is made of memories. It used to be ours, our collective memory for as long as we could think of before we lost it. I think the crystals will show you.
That's
Okay.
Or at least, she might, if she's still there. Perhaps through these crystals.
The
What are we waiting for?
crystals.
Let's go.
Okay, let's go.
We can save Maru.
Let's go.
It sounds a little bit vague, though. The crystals will show you, but you know.
Eldora folds her hand as the tent flaps has opened before you, and now you see the vision of the daunting temple. Nothing left besides that.
I knew people like yours from the herd, Alberian. You're a tough folk. I think you'll manage.
Yeah, we'll manage.
Thank you for your hospitality and for your help.
See ya, says Noelle from the corner.
Well, it's always a pleasure.
I'm also sorry for my rudeness. It's just stressful times.
And thank you for the
thank you.
show
No
as
need
well.
in saying that to us.
The tent flap folds back as you move your way out, and now you can see these cedar trees. They are ginormous. They're like 120 feet tall, and they start moving back with these large root-like structures, almost resembling legs, but just 5-6 pairs of them. As they carry the tent in unison back along the path from which you came.
アドブレイク。気をつけて、ウルビートル。マイビートル？モスビートル？ウネストビートル？私たちはこれを乗り越えてきました。それが何と呼ばれるかは関係ありません。
はい、そうです。選択した名前を使用すると謝辞と敬意が表されます。
このような小さな努力は誰かに大きな喜びを与えることができます。みんなありがとう。私は学びました。
なんて高揚した言説。これがあなたへの私の贈り物です。クイラーカナのジャロフスピとは家族のマントルピースに欠かせないアイテムです。動物商の生物学の時代を超越した生命。クイルアルカナはジャルオブスピートを食べないようにアドバイスするだけでな。キアアルカナは私たちの素晴らしい常連客の助けを借りて生産されています。私たちはリアゲーマーコミュニティの可視性を作成しようとしています。
ショーに戻りましょう。
Bye. No way going back now.
Let's get going, girls.
Eldora waves at you a single wave and then disappears in the tent, as you are now alone in this place.
Okay.
In front of the Reverendary, standing on the path that leads into this mysterious temple.
Let's get going. Shall we?
Let's go.
You walk along the scraggly path, and up some steps, which are broken down. You see that these bugs, with their snouts, they release some acid on the stone, and some of the stone melts away, causing this structure, which probably has been abandoned for 20 years, to look way older, almost as if left alone for thousands of years. This plague, this horde, is demolishing this sacred temple to the ground.
You crush a single beetle and you go... These are very small, by the way. The ones you saw before were like as big as dogs. Not saying that your dogs have disease, I'm sorry. That was an unfortunate insult. But these are just tiny beetles, almost like as big as like coins.
You see the entrance, although you can't look inside because it's currently obstructed by a pillar that has been broken off due to acid corrosion, and it is now jamming the doorway.
Ready?
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, you're strong.
Yeah. These hands will be put to work then.
In which case, I'm gonna cast guidance on you real quick, just to
Not that
help
it's
you out.
needed, but you
Well,
know, thanks anyway.
So heavy, could a normal person ever lift this?
But
Well, a
is Ruddy a
normal-
normal person?
I am not sure.
Alright, spin the wheel then for me.
And you add 2 because of guidance.
Strength is 18, so
Okay,
What is it?
9.
Plus 6, so that's 15, plus 2, 17. So
Mark
Ruddy
leg.
is extremely strong. Starts trying to push this boulder, and as you do, it looks as if it's not going to budge, and then suddenly, whoosh, as it
Look at that! Look at
Damn.
that! Yeah.
falls down
That's some muscles
this large
here.
hole.
as the dark entrance lies before you.
Hey, Gym Queen.
Yeah, that's why you push up every morning.
Wow,
You
Ruddy,
immediate-
you're so strong.
You immediately see a scurrying of minuscule beetles running over your feet as the insects hiding under the rock are now exposed to the light. Some of them creep back under their stone slab and into the darkness. But the door in front of you opens to a gigantic, forlorn stone hallway, which gives entrance to 10 different pathways lined with orichalcum crystals that give off this faint purple light.
Why can't these things all come being straight forward, just walking
Okay.
in a
Okay.
straight
10.
line?
10 hallways.
10 different pathways.
But on the floor, you see these red mandala-like structures.
And red lines.
Oh, might this be a puzzle?
Okay.
There's
Instant trauma.
no particular shape, but there's a way you could interact with this arcane magic.
Okay. Oh, crystal.
There's a crystal, Vanity.
Oh, yay, missed ya.
The orichalcum seems to be very prominent in this space.
On the ground, you see this red vein-like network. You see it on the picture as well. Each of them leading to a different hallway of crystal. The veins glow red in different intensities, as if hallways have different amounts of magical energy resting within them.
So what do you think, Eli?
I'm
You've
not
got this
entirely
magic.
sure. I've never been to a place like this before.
Are the crystals connected to the...
Not particularly, they are just there. The magical pathways are just leading into a corridor, and it's for up to you to find out
Oh, it's
which
up to
corridor
us.
you need to take to the core.
It's up to
of
us,
the temple.
alright.
I would like to do I would like to check out the vein that is the strongest looking, so the brightest shining light.
That would be an Arcana check, and let's have somebody from the audience roll this one who has gloves. Let's put that dice to do
Glove
good use.
people. A veto.
That's
Why
an
are you
8
doing me like
plus.
this?
What do I need to look up your bonus?
My bonus, yes, please.
Your bonus to Arcana, it's an 8 plus 3. You try as best as you can to feel the ley lines of this red energy.
And you try and follow it. You can't really get a grasp on the magic itself, but what you do see is that the beetles are particularly attracted to one of the ley lines.
Alright. These...
What did you find?
Well, these creatures, the beetles, they feed on orichalcum. So,
Oh, that sounds disgusting.
logic would dictate if we follow them to the biggest source.
We have to follow the beetles?
But, well, if they feed on this stuff and we follow them, then there will be a lot more feeding on the stuff, and they might be bigger
We're gonna
because
have
their
to
bellies
deal with
are
the patriarch
full.
regardless, we promised.
It's this
Best
way.
to just,
Okay, Vanity goes, I go.
Let's do it.
Vanity, you find that a lot of these bugs are going to the rooms left of center. So you start moving through there, I presume.
Come.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you follow this trail, and it goes into one hallway that ends up into, you can see it on the art, a long pathway.
It seems like this place used to be like absolutely a temple. There's religious iconography everywhere, but it's filled with this grayish slime, almost seemingly corroded. There used to be walls of depicting elvish traditions of birth and remembrance, it seems, but it's so long forlorn. As you're walking for over 5 minutes, it becomes harder to avoid the attention of some of these beetles, as some are as large as your feet.
oh man.
Sometimes
That
you bump
is
into them and
large.
you're like, oh!
Once you
As large as your feet, oh my god.
walk through these hallways, you can see in the orichalcum, they're growing more prominent. You see reflections of memories that perhaps do not seem to be your own. Visions of some sort. It's almost like
First, Vanity, as you come closer to it, you see yourself reflected perfectly. You once again feel a tugging at your waist slightly, though you don't see anything there. It's like a corset of sorts. And then you see a picture of a man with a long brown beard, receding hairline, staring at your back.
What are you looking at?
Nothing.
It's just a crystal.
What did you see, Vanity?
Eli, you
obsessed.
see wavings of white branches.
you feel the drips again, Aaravos, suddenly to your face, and you already hear the creaking of wood.
We shouldn't allow ourselves to be too distracted here.
Yeah, I agree.
We're in powerful boundaries.
Let's keep going.
As you follow along the hallways, I want you to roll another either survival or arcana check.
Oh, I want to go survival.
Ruddy leads the way.
I will lead the way.
You ascertain, by the way, that these crystals, they don't seem sentient, but they seem to reflect something deep within you. That's
Okay.
a 9. It's still quite high.
What's your plus?
Survival is a wisdom. +4.
It's 2 plus 2, I believe.
Yeah.
Do you have guidance?
No.
No, I did not
Wasn't
have
called.
guidance.
You didn't call guidance.
Then
No,
it
no,
is
I
no.
was
15.
distracted by the
or no?
crystals.
13.
13.
Okay.
That still hits. I believe.
Just enough. You try and follow these beetles more, so you've been on the ground this whole time trying to find those damn things. They are pretty quick, so if you want to catch up to several beetles, you need to scurry around more quicker than that. Quicker! There you go. You follow into this hallway, and after some time of traveling...
Oh, yeah, we have to follow, right?
Yeah, or else you're gonna fall behind. Yeah, quickly. And every once in a while these beetles stop and they poke their noses into the ley line, almost as drinking something.
Oh, it's so
What are
gross.
they?
And in your travel, your chase,
You reach a room with a large, open clearing, almost like a hole in the center of it. Considerably darker, this room, than the rest of the tunnel system. It seems to be a gigantic dead end, except for this gigantic hole in the center of the room, where halcyon crystals here are chewed down to small clumps.
it's there.
Oh, I was in the hole.
Yeah, you're pretty good. Sorry. You're in the room, and there are two things that you notice. First of all, this big gigantic hole that has apparently not been man-made. It doesn't look like any of the interior decoration of the temple.
Interior decorations, not like they have IKEA down here.
You don't know. And you see these big slimy piles of rock, suspicious looking, in the room. Also with orichalcum that look strangely chipped off, almost as if they've lost their power. Corroded by acid.
These NPCs are such gremlins. Do you have any other sort of source of light here? Because Ruddy can barely see anything in this room.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Okay, let me light something.
This is dark. Because the orichalcum has been shut down, there's almost no light. You, from your hand, emits this fire. And the tunnel goes down, and then splits into more tunnels.
Whatever this was, it was big. And it's devouring all.
And then you hear it. From the back of
This large, crashing sound.
high-pitched sounds as the breaking of orichalcum hits your ear
Somebody's coming.
from the tunnel from which you came. It's almost as if a large body is trying to slide its way through. And with a fog of darkness
Starts to creep into this room, almost like it's a creeping magical fog, and everything it touches turns to pitch black.
Guys.
Hold on to each other. Something's coming.
Yeah.
I have a bad feeling about this.
Where's your fire? I can't even see you glowing.
Yeah, you try and hold the fire in your hands, but the level of magic at which you're casting this does not permeate this darkness. You're totally lost. As Ruddy, suddenly you're slammed into a wall by something the size, what could have been perhaps an
There was
elephant.
an elephant!
And you,
What's an elephant?
You're slammed into a wall. You don't get damaged, but you're knocked prone. Eli, you're next. Poof, into the other wall. You're being slammed currently.
Sis, you're next, so I'm next.
Vanity, you're next.
Why am I next?
As you all get slammed to the wall, you feel pieces of broken off orichalcum jab in your backs as you are being swung around the room by this unknown creature. You don't see anything.
Vanity.
Vanity, is that you?
As you're standing over this hole, you peer almost into the hole, and you hear a voice in your head, a familiar voice, say, "Trust me. Leave."
What's happening?
Jump! In the
Let's
hole.
hold you there. Freeze. What do you do?
I'm following Vanity. I'm jumping.
Okay, go.
As you all roll around, doof, 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 you're being shaken from one tunnel to another, and then you're leading into the next tunnel. These are vertical tunnels, and they go down almost like a marble roller coaster. Going, doof, doof, doof.
I want you all, every single one, to make me a wisdom saving throw.
Hey babes! Before you continue watching, don't forget to like, subscribe, and check out our Patreon, where you can help us develop this crazy show further.
It's